I don't know, a lot of like one tricks I feel like have success in the LCS and like not just LCS and like pro play, like LCK, LPL. A lot of people started off with one tricks. I feel like for my case, it was more of me being like an actual one trick. I only played pretty much Riven. I put too many games on Riven. Like I feel like I was more of a one trick than a lot of different pros, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I feel like that had a lot of effect to my champ pool and getting better at more champs. I had to put in just as many games as on other champs as Riven to get to that level.
This is Azento from Esports Heaven, and I have here with me Viper, victorious and kind of a little hairy at the end there, but you guys made playoffs.
Yeah.
And that game specifically was a little rocky against CLG towards the later portions of the game. But overall, it was a pretty stompy game. You also had your first LCS game ever, I want to say, on Shen. So was this always a pick you had, or did you have to recently start practicing this?
Honestly, not at all. I didn't expect to play Shen today. I've played like 3 games of Shen this past year. You know, literally, it's been so long since I played this champ.
Uh huh.
I felt really sloppy on him in game, but it was just too good of a pick to not go that game. Like we
Yeah.
saw Camille. I wanted to play, something like Renekton against Camille because it's a good matchup.
Mm-hmm.
But I saw Twisted Fate and Camille. They obviously it's CLG. Like that's their only condition, and we knew that. So I saw like it was a perfect Shen game for me to go. Everyone suggested it on my team. I obviously wanted to like I suggested it to myself too. I'm like, this is too good of a pick. So I just picked it there, and uh, it should have. I feel like it should have went a lot better than how it was because laning phase was a little rough.
Yeah.
But the pick was really good.
Yeah, that was primo stuff, and it kind of goes against the narrative for you because you've had criticism in the past for your champion pool, even with the broadcast highlighting false stats.
Yeah,
So, what are
exactly.
your thoughts on just the narrative itself of your champion pool?
It's honestly like when I looked at it, I looked at broadcast. It was right after we won our game. We our I won my Riven game after coming back to LCS, and I just hear that. I look at the stats. I'm like, this is wrong. Like I just know it's wrong. I'm looking at it. This
Yeah,
how does that make
it's
sense?
too many games.
Yeah, exactly. It's too many games. So I like started looking into it. I had people help me look into it, see like if I'm that bad or not. But it sucks, to have that to have that name to myself as like this guy's a one
Mhm.
trick. He can only play Riven. He can. It's understandable a lot of times because I've ran it down a lot of games, but it's just false, and it really hit me hard to just want to keep improving, keep getting better, keep having better champs, uh, get Riven banned more. Riven was being banned a lot of times,
Yeah.
so it's helping everywhere pretty much.
Do you think that kind of holds some solo queue talent from being recognized? Because it is a common thing for players to maybe play one champion in order to grind up into the solo queue ladder and then be considered a one trick pony. And then when they start wanting to try and get into the competitive scene, they expand their champion pool, but maybe they're just still known for that particular champion. Do you think that kind of holds back the North American talent in regards to viewing some players in solo queue as one trick ponies?
I I think so. I think so. Actually, in some way, I don't know. A lot of like one tricks I feel like have success in the LCS and like not just LCS and like pro play like LCK, LPL. A lot of people started off with one tricks. I feel like for my case, it was more of me being like an actual one trick. I only played pretty much Riven. I put too many games on Riven. Like I feel like I was more of a one trick than a lot of different pros.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, so I feel like that had a lot of effect to my champ pool and getting better at more champs. I had to put in just as many games as on other champs as Riven to get to that level. So that's why it's just the process is taking longer, but like the results are still always the goal is for them to be the same, right? On every
Yeah.
champ and make it same as Riven.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely think it's just about how much games you put on your one trick and go into the competitive scene.
So impressively earlier this week, you played Camille and had fantastic macro, actually some of the best that I've seen in North America, with limited vision, playing towards the bot lane and getting an inhibitor by yourself, and kind of you guys just toggling back and forth and saying, which one do you want? Do you want me to take your inhibitor, or do you want us to take Baron? You guys decide, and
Yeah,
you
exactly.
kind of stuck them in between a rock and a hard place. And then now you played Shen in the side lane. So what's your opinion on split pushing in North America, and why does it seem like teams have difficulty in doing such a strategy?
So yesterday, like we picked Camille into Ornn, right? So they blinded Ornn. It was a lot easier for me to split push against Ornn, right? Because it's a tank. He doesn't really do damage to me. I can hit towers in front of his face later on,
Mm-hmm.
and it's not a problem. So I just fully committed to that playstyle. Only split push. I don't want to group. Not, like I really just wanted to split push on Camille. That's why I picked the champ into Ornn, right? But in today's case, it's like I played Chen against the TF Camille, who are better split pushers, I'd say, than Shen. It's like a counter to, well, it's not a counter to Shen, but like they're just better. Like
Mm-hmm.
Shen is a counter to both, but they're better split pushers than him. Uh, but honestly, I'm not sure why split pushing is like it's showing up more now in NA, right? And people
Yeah.
are having not that much success on it. But it's just a lot different of a playstyle that NA hasn't been playing for too long, I feel like. Where in
Mm-hmm.
other regions they have a lot more experience when it comes to split pushing and macro and what they want to do uh, with their leads and what their champions limits are.
Yeah. So you guys had some pretty bad games, to be honest, earlier in the split, with heavy criticism of just having inactivity, seemingly, from your team. But now you guys seem to be a little bit more proactive, making plays, making cross map plays. Do you guys think you've solved this issue, for the large part?
For not entirely, like we still, we're still gonna run into games where we bleed out we bleed out early and we're just slow. Like we have had our game against TL, for example, where they almost perfect gamed us. That was
Mm-hmm.
a really embarrassing game to play. Uh, but this, like, I don't think we'll get perfect gamed again, obviously. But I think that problem is solved. But it's still there's a lot of shaky stuff still going on that we gotta work on.
Yeah. So with bringing out Lilia for Dardoch and Shen for you, Soraka, like your team is looking a little bit dangerous, and unpredictable for playoffs. So finally, do you guys think this brings a pretty large advantage to you, especially because you're going into best of fives rather than best of ones?
Yeah, I think we're definitely gonna get an advantage. Just depends. I don't. I think we're a lot more flexible than some of the playoff teams, at least right now. So I think the flexibility that we have playing different champs, different play styles is gonna help a lot when it comes to best of fives.
Okay, well, I look forward to you guys in playoffs. You're kind of the dark horse in the losers bracket, so
Yeah.
this will be really exciting. I'm excited for that, and yeah, best of luck. This has been Azento from Esports Heaven and Viper from Dignitas. Thank
Thank
you.
you so much.